Hey, welcome to another episode of Real Men, Real Talk Nashville. I'm your host, Wayne, my co-host, Corey, Icon, and everybody's favorite Uncle Dwight. Hey, we have a special Q&A guest today, Jasmyn. She's a Nashville native, and she's going to hit us up with some questions. Hope we have the answers for her, and get some insight on what men think. Jasmyn, go ahead and tell us about yourself. What's going on?
Oh, all is well. I'm good, Jasmyn. Are you Jasmyn? Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's get into it.
We had to find a lady that wasn't too scared to come into Millions Den and face us head on. So, Jasmyn, go ahead. Here's what's your first question. What you got for us?
Y'all ready?
Really?
Let's roll with it.
You guys want to take a drink?
No.
Okay.
We might start drinking.
You gonna do that?
We might start drinking while we talking.
I think first off, the first question I have is, what role did your mother and or father play in making you the man that you are today?
Oh, okay. What role did our parents have in making us who we are? Well, I would start off with, I guess being around my mom, not necessarily as a mama's boy, but she gave me, as a young man, how to conduct myself, carry myself. She gave me the discipline I needed. And then as far as a father, a father role in the household is not always, it's more what he does and what he shows, and not necessarily what he says and really do.
Right.
Father role is more like a enforcer for the mom majority of the time. Hey, what you do? First thing you say, what your mama say?
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess having that male role model, work hard, take care of the household. So it's like, that's what kind of I got from it. And, as you get older, you start viewing things in your perspective, how you think things should be. What you think, Corey? What you got?
Well, for my mother, she just taught me how to be domesticated. You know what I mean? She taught me how to cook, how to clean. Her theory was,
I learned how to sew.
You know what I mean? If you know how to cook and clean and look after yourself, you ain't got to go out there and marry anything.
Right.
Okay, and so that's what she got. My father didn't raise me. I know who my father is. I have a relationship with my father, but he didn't raise me. I got uncles galore, grandfathers galore that molded me to be who I am. Go to work, take care of home, respect mama,
Right.
the basics.
Right.
I'm pretty much in the same boat with you. My father didn't raise me, but my mother, along with them other 8 aunties, and then them other 9 sisters I grew up with. So the women in my family played the more major role for me. Now, my grandfather definitely stepped in and showed me the male role. Taking the initiative to be a man, go to work. My first job at 12 years old, doing a paper route, getting up early in the morning, throwing papers, learning how to, catch your own food, being up from the country, hunting, fishing, whatnot. Skinning them down, breaking them down, all of that. My grandfather, my great grandfather.
Again,
I ain't from the country. I catch them, I season them. Kroger let me do all that.
when the mice storms come around and Kroger's on shutdown, but still, I want to say, learning to being able to still, not having to depend on Kroger, Sam Club, whatnot. It's all good.
What you got?
Well, myself, I had mother and father. And 2 phrases that have stuck with me growing up and as an adult was, boy, you better act like you got some sense, and you better listen. And to expand that even more was, my father was basically hard worker, whereas I looked at it whereas I'm not afraid of hard work, whether it's mental or manual. And one of the things he kind of lived by was, the hell with what everybody think. I do what needs to be done for us.
Right.
And expanding on that was, whereas the only thing I give a deal about is the individual's name who signs my daggone paycheck, and that has limits.
Well, ass whoopings don't hurt either. What's the second question you got?
Okay. The second question I have is, what does a woman do to cause a man to cheat?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Well, we'll go ahead, Corey.
I don't necessarily think a woman does anything to cause a man to cheat. I think some of the things that can happen in the home, you know what I mean, could be perceived as a lack of attention or a lack of this or lack of that, but we all grown.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't make me cheat, I can't make you cheat. That's a choice that individuals make. So the first thing we need to do is throw that whole "you made me cheat" out the window.
Right.
Because
I
you
agree with
grown,
that.
you do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So now what you got to figure out now is why I'm cheating. Not that you made me cheat, but you need to figure out why I'm cheating.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because it would have to be the lack of attention, maybe. I mean, as they say, however you got them is how you keep them.
Right.
So it depends on the individual. It depends on the situation, because every situation is not the same. That person will get that attention from someone else.
True.
And you know, if a male or a female sees a woman that's like not, or may tune in that they're not getting the attention they want, because while sometimes we as people we think people are our friends, you know, and you'll say, well, you know, hey Mike, what would you do if you're, you know, why men do this, that, and the other, and then you say, he'll be like, oh, well, that lets you know, that let him know everything ain't good at home.
He like,
Right. So tell me what's going on. And then he becomes
How was you?
right.
You should
Oh,
do
he
it
don't
back.
do this.
Yeah.
He don't do that. All of a sudden, he started doing this. And so,
That's true.
and so it's not that we it's something that we just go out and do. It's something that happens without us really know it happened, and then it happens before we even realize, oh shit, I just did that.
But I will say this.
So,
You know what I mean? Men cheat physical, women cheat emotional.
yeah.
And that's what I was. And
Because
that's
if a woman
Yeah,
cheats
me-
because the man cheated, you know, she'd be pissed off. And,
You know what I mean? But see, if a woman cheats on you, you might as well go ahead and start packing it up because it's an emotional attachment somewhere.
oh yeah,
See,
it's
we
always-
cheat and we be like, man, she don't mean nothing.
Right.
Hey, you want me to hang the phone?
It's not an emotional attachment.
Hey, you want to jump on it together?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, men, it's an ego thing for us. If a woman
It is.
cheats,
It
because
is.
in our mind, we're not actually thinking about the cheat itself. We can get past that. Our ego be like, damn, was he better than me? Now we have sex and she thinking about him. You know, mine may go right, his may go left and down.
But see, at the end of the day, you pop your card and say, well, she's still here. Must not have been.
So to answer your question, women do not make men cheat.
No.
It depends on the situation that's going on. They may be angry at each other, or going through some kind of situation with finance, kids, money, job. It depends on what it is.
But I don't want to say that you guys are cheaters and you expect women to forgive you, but knowing that when women cheat, it's an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Can you handle that?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah, it's time to move on.
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's a taboo subject and it's a double standard because a couple of things happen. Again, if you're a man and you know there's an emotional attachment to it, then you know what I mean, you already got to handle that part of it.
Right.
But even though you man and woman, he could go out and have a baby, and we gonna work through that.
Yeah.
You can't go out and have a baby with another dude and we work you.
Yo,
That ain't gonna
That
work.
ain't happening. So
That's not gonna
it's
work.
definitely a double standard.
Right.
So you playing Russian roulette. And the funny part about this, we expect you to forget that other baby around time.
Right.
Because our theory is, you ain't got to feed him. You ain't got to look at him every day.
Right.
Yeah, if your stomach swell up, I gotta
I guess-
stand that your stomach swell up and it ain't me.
Exactly that.
That's the
Well,
question.
It does. A
Okay.
little perspective. A little perspective.
What's the next one?
The next one we have is, will it hurt your masculinity, or does it hurt your masculinity for a woman to make more than you, or your woman?
Hell no.
Okay.
See, I can't speak for everybody else. See, the way I'm built and the way I was made, her money is her money anyway. See, I'm one of them cats to where I do me.
Right.
So in my house, I pay all the bills at my house.
Right.
So what she do. I don't even care. So when Amazon post up in my front yard, I don't care. It ain't my money.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? It ain't got nothing to do with, well, it's an ego. It's less money I got to spend on her. So the more she make, the better. You know what I mean?
I'm rolling with the same thing, you know. I mean, me being the single man on the panel, her making more money than me, cool, kudos. Now, in my mindset is that, okay, on my job, I need to do what I need to do so I can be either match or go over what she bringing home.
Right.
You know?
But
that's just me and as well as my ego.
Now,
Now, do it really matter to me? No, it don't make
Whether-
sense.
it ain't gonna matter unless she's throwing it in your face.
Right, that's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
That's the only way it's gonna
That-
matter.
that's what I was
She
saying, the only
routinely
problem.
let you know that she's the breadwinner.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Now that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
But other than that, nah, ain't no big deal.
I was just finna say
But
that it's gonna be a
the
problem.
top of
with
the
that.
question, she said a masculine man ain't gonna have her
Right.
bringing that to him like that anyway.
Right.
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 Because that's a masculine man is a confident man, so it's not near to say. What you got to say on Dwight? You the wisest of the wise. You're talking.
Get real.
No, that's correct. To me, it doesn't make any difference. I know who I am. I know what I do. If, we'll say, for example, you have a husband works in construction, either works for somebody or has his own business. You take the wife, she has a master's or doctorate degree, she works in corporate America. And there shouldn't be no animosity either way.
Right.
Because you're working within that financial sphere of the occupation that you're in.
Right.
But like you said, she throws up in the face, whereas that depends on how things are initially when they get together.
All right.
Because then she's really, because if she throw it in his face, then she's really questioning his manhood. Then,
Right.
I mean, that's when you start picking at that little aspect of you ain't no man, you know. Blah, 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 ooh.
And that's when the light bulb should go off and say, get away from this.
Right.
Well, yeah, that furniture starts moving.
Truck pull up in front of you.
Yeah,
And
most
that
definitely.
should appear initially in the dating phase before you get married.
Most
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
Most definitely. I think it is important to allow a man to be a man. And like you're saying, take care of home, provide. Money is really no factor in that instance.
What else you got?
Back to the drawing board. Let's see.
One other aspect is looking at it as a partnership.
True. Yes. I'll take that. So I think this is a double question here, but I wanted to
Oh
know
boy.
your top characteristics you have for a wife, or how did you know for those who are taken, or how would you know? Or what characteristics you see when you see a woman? How do you know? that is your.
I don't know if you asked.
Let's pass that on to. I'm gonna pass that on over to Grandpa.
It's levels to it.
Okay.
Men gonna look for certain things at different stages of their life.
Okay.
So it depends on where you met that man. You met that man and he's a boy, early 20s, teenager. He gonna be looking at this.
Right.
Okay, you meet that man and he's 30 years old. He gonna be looking how much of an investment I got to make.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're looking at a man that's 35 and older, he's looking at, can I build with her? Can I stack with her?
Mm-hmm.
She's still at the club. I can't stack with her.
Yeah,
I mean,
35.
she's still with 100,000 women. I can't stack with her. One of the things that most women don't realize as a turnoff for men is we don't like all the friends.
Mm.
And the reason why we don't like all the friends is because that's who you get your advice from. It ain't 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a ton of them.
Okay.
Okay? And whether you want to admit it or not, eventually, I'm not just dating you. I'm dating all your friends.
of them.
So the girl at the club with the 12 girls and y'all in VIP turned up, the men are staying away from that.
Right. Right. Okay.
Well, like he said, depends on what stage the man is in, and also I would also add in his upcoming as coming up as an adult, you know,
Right.
because you know your aspects and your direction and the way you see things come up, you know, in your environment, your people you're around. You might have you might have that uncle as a pimp, and
We all do.
And
We all got one.
Then you got that, uncle or grandfather that's you see he's always homebound,
Right.
taking care of household.
He's the steady hand.
Yeah, he's steady hand. So
He's
you
the
got
steady hand.
so you got that balance, and then the reflection of your mom, your sisters, and aunties, and what kind of women they are. So it gives you an idea of what you kind of may look for or look into a woman. But as you get older, like he says, when a man matures, he understands to some aspect of what he's looking for. We don't get it right offhand. It's like you got to date, different type of people, and then get an understanding of what. Because when you're ready to settle down,
Right.
you know what kind of characteristics you're looking for, what you can deal with, and what you can't.
Right.
She can't be a lady of the streets, and then you be like, well, we have a good time. We do our thing, but you take care of the household. I don't see that happening. So it's like you end up, and when you're ready
But
to
see,
move
that comes with
on.
knowing you. Before you can pick a wife, you got to know you.
Right.
And see, if we go back a couple of generations, that's why you had older men marry younger women.
Mm-hmm.
See, before you can come get
Oh.
the younger female out of granddaddy's house, you had to be established. You had
Right.
to have a house to take her to. You had to have this, you had to have that to take her to. So today, dating is, I think I'm in love, and everybody in love, but at the end of the day, are we looking at the end game? And I don't know you at 19 years old whether or not you can cook and clean.
Right.
So we doing from the beginning. If we in a relationship and we get hot and heavy, you 19, 20, and just say we have a child, we doing from the beginning. Because
Yeah.
I don't know me, you don't know me, I don't know you, you don't know you.
Right. So, well, to your point, when you were saying like at 20 years old you was a boy, you didn't know, things change, and 30 and up and so forth. So when you were 20,
Right.
in whatever situation you were in, did you know I can't be with this woman the rest of my life? Did you know you needed more, or
See,
were you not thinking about the end
You
game?
got to remember, my situation is a little bit different.
Well,
Because I married my high school sweetheart.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
So,
Well,
so my situation, and we're still married today.
Well, that's beautiful.
So,
Congratulations.
so my situation was different.
Okay.
I did know I wanted to be like my player uncle. I did know that. I did know that I was gonna run through them and I was gonna come through the hood like Black Superman. But this woman had some legs on her that wouldn't quit.
Right.
And I'm at 20, I'm goo goo gaga. You know what I mean? She had me wrapped around her fingers. Some say she still got me wrapped around her finger today. Okay? You know what I mean?
She deserved it.
But,
Yeah, okay.
For me, I knew, but we had some unique circumstances for us to make it.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is we moved away.
Mm.
So her mom and her sisters, my mama and my sisters couldn't get in our business. It was just her and I against the world.
Okay.
And we moved up east, and we had to make it. We was
Right.
it. We had these kids. We had to do it.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? We didn't have a lot of outside influences. Those 20 girlfriends I was telling you about.
That's true.
Mama wasn't in our business. Sisters wasn't running in and out my house.
Yeah, everybody getting their perspective.
Right. So
What they
it
think
was just us. So
what
we
they
learned
think
together.
what's going on.
Okay.
Because people will get into it where they think what's going on. And we have a tendency, and we're not going to say it. We're not going to be 100% and say everything that's going on.
Right.
This is the problem I got. You know, what do you think? And then they'll be like, well, how did it get to that and all that? You're like, I ain't talking about all that. I'm just trying to get to this point. But it's more or less, men would pick women that he can see that I think would do 2 or 3 things. Be able to raise his kids,
Right.
and also be able to provide a home.
Mm-hmm.
That's the grown man. The boys looking at the booty, man.
But then that's why I'm gonna ask all of you. Were you ever in a
The
situation?
boys looking at.
Because at the end of the day, when especially when you ready to have kids, you know, you want to be knowing that, hey, when this baby is born, she gonna drop it off at mama's house and she go back out in the streets. You be like, what the fuck?
No, but if you doing the same thing,
You all right?
you know what I mean? That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole
Yeah.
nother subject.
It is.
I don't believe a woman should marry a man her age.
Mm.
I believe a woman should marry a man that's a little bit older than her. Because see, mentally,
The
you
maturity level?
maturity level, you already. 2, if you go and you dating baby and y'all both 19, y'all finna struggle a lot
Oh, yeah.
together. So y'all doomed from the get-go. The chance of y'all living happily ever after is a nosedive.
Slim to none.
But if you 19, 20 years old, 21 years old, I ain't advocating that, we just go get 21 years old, get married, you get married when you're happy. But if you're 21 years old, and here come Billy 30 years old. Billy been on his job 10 years. Billy got a house.
Yeah.
So a lot of them struggles you would normally go through with Ray, you ain't gonna go through with Billy.
Mhm.
Okay. So will Billy look at the 19-year-old as potential though?
Yes.
It actually is how she presented
But
herself.
she
got to show
she's got
that she's that.
She's got to be different than the other 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Meaning, she ain't
Her
clubbing
maturity.
every weekend. Every time he see her, she got some clothes on.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You know what I
Not
mean?
no tights, not no
You know what I mean?
coochie cutters.
The perfume don't smell like Hennessy and black. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? He's looking for something bad, you know what I mean? 19,
Exactly.
you know what I mean, will be a little bit young because I believe a woman is living her best life by the time she's 22, 23, especially if she ain't got no kids.
Right.
She's living her best life right then and there. And usually that's when Billy is swooped in. We all went to school. We all saw the old cats pull up.
Pull up, yeah.
And the Cadillac and the Buick.
We used to be bad at school. Right? But we understood, once we got older, we understood why those girls chose them.
Right.
They had a car. They had their own place. You know what I mean? There was a lot of things they could do that we couldn't.
Yeah, we
All
could,
right.
right.
Well, we're going to wrap it up from this point. We're going to do another episode. Hey, hit us up on that YouTube, Facebook, and hit that like button. As always, subscribe. Hey, thank you for showing up and showing out here at Real Men Real Talk Nashville and our co-host, our Q&A. Hey,